make a statement. I need the facts.
So that's how it started, but it wasn't long until presidential statements were coming fast and furious. President Trump going rogue. That's what his staff is calling it. He wasn't supposed to take questions from reporters, but oh, did he ever. Pete Muntean is here to kind of break down a very fiery press conference.
That's right, Leslie. This is a pretty sharp pivot. President Trump called out white supremacists yesterday. Now he's back to blaming all sides in Charlottesville. The president just kicked that up a notch, saying it was counter-protesters who became violent. He just started calling them the alt-left.
Great to be back in New York.
President Trump started on message, pushing for new national infrastructure in the lobby of Trump Hotel. Then he condemned the driver who crashed into counter-protesters Saturday.
The driver of the car is a murderer.
Heather Heyer was killed. 19 others were hurt. But in minutes, Trump turned his anger their way. He said those against white supremacists in Charlottesville are now partly to blame.
What about the alt-left that came charging at the, as you say, the alt-right? Do they have any semblance of guilt?
For 20 minutes, Trump took questions from the so-called fake news media. This was unplanned and unrelenting against the newly coined alt-left. Trump said he slowed this statement to get all the facts.
You had a group on the other side that came charging in without a permit, and they were very, very violent.
In Charlottesville, the fight centers on this statue. It is of Confederate Commander Robert E. Lee. Trump called the push to move it changing history. He invoked Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, founding fathers who did not fight for slavery.
George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner.
Trump said moving that statue should remain a local issue. One more controversial statement. He said among the protesters on both sides, very fine people. Pete Muntean, WUSA 9.